Yeah,
How do we usually start it? We crack it off.
Just
have a brain fart.
Welcome the guests to the podcast, and then
Season 2, episode 7.
All right.
it's right there on the board.
Here we go.
You
Welcome.
forgot an N. Did you have an N in your name?
No, I was
Hoaglund.
really
Okay.
trying on that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. People won't read it. All right. Episode 7, Season 2, Spinal Tap Podcast. Spinal Tap Podcast. Spinal Tap Podcast with Hunter Hoaglund from Golo Golf.
Hello.
with
Yes.
an N.
It's our boy.
How we're doing, fellas?
We're good.
Are you also directly affiliated with Mulligan's?
Yeah.
Your part
Yeah.
Yeah.
owner,
So you're okay.
Partner.
partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of Mulligan's in
Yeah.
Plymouth
In Plymouth, and we had an
Minnesota.
Egan location as well.
and
Yeah.
Egan location.
Yeah.
Mulligan's Indoor Golf and Golo Golf
Yeah.
and
Which go-
Forward. Is that a thing too?
That's
Forward.
the
That's
brand
that's the brand I utilize and work with.
of
So
club.
yeah, we'll talk about that for
Oh,
sure
yeah.
today.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, it's a huge
Which-
part of it. How
Super cool.
yeah, it's a little bit how we differentiate ourselves from the big box stores and typical kind of everyday fittings. So
Nice.
it's awesome.
When did you start playing golf?
It's been
5 years.
right when I met you.
Oh, really? That's when you started?
Yeah, 2018. I had a
You
career-ending head injury in football. Wasn't working out, just put on a bunch of weight. And then one day I woke up and I was like, you got to just do something with your life. So I went on a walk in St. Peter, Minnesota. And I found a set of lefty golf clubs on the side of the road with a
No
free
way.
sign on it. You swear on it. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
And
You're like Bagger
they're the
Vance.
wooden ones that sit in my. If you saw those
Oh,
wooden
really?
ones that are sitting in the back.
Can-
And so I took them to the driving range. I lived with 7 college football players at the time in this little house. I came back from the driving range like, what were you doing? You said you were going for a walk and you were gone for 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, I found some clubs and I ended up at a driving range. And,
So if anyone's looking for some clubs that they left,
yeah, in St. Peter. Yep, I have them. I did knock on the guy's door because I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Dude, you're gonna break them. They're wooden." I'm like, "I'll try." Yeah,
What are
That's
the
cool.
chances you find
seriously.
a left-handed golf set for free on your walk?
I'd go and I'd come home to my roommates every day. I'm like, guys, this game's pretty dang cool. Like, it's hard. I don't know how to tell you this, but you could throw me an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, I'd be fine hitting it from playing college baseball. But you'd put a ball on a tee that sits still, no idea where it's going. And I'm like, there's something to this. And so you get the pointers from the old guys at the driving range, and you kind of like fall in love with it. And then my dad sitting there shaking his head probably because he's tried to get me to go my whole childhood, and I was
Oh,
like, it's
sure.
gonna ruin my baseball swing. I'm never going. And now I'm just some golf addict. But my dad and I, it's grown our relationship a lot and brought us closer together. But
That's awesome.
my love of golf grew completely because when you play with different people from every aspect of life from all over the country, and you just hear like, how did you fall in love with the game? Is it like when you just hear people's story? That's what I love about golf is the people you meet, the places it takes you, and like the memories you make are pretty special.
Is that South Dakota's motto? What you just said? I don't know. On their license plate.
The people that play,
Good place.
yeah.
That and get the hell out of here.
But no, it's
that's our motto.
but that's I got hook, line, and sinker in
Yeah.
the game of golf. I became a GM at a golf course for a little while. I just said I love this game and I want to be involved in it. I worked for TaylorMade as a club fitter during that time, and then kind of the rest is history. I bought Minnesota Golf Lab in Long Lake, Minnesota. Operated that for a year, sold it, and then moved up to Plymouth and been in golf ever since. But
Maybe we should go back to the beginning of how you guys even know each other.
Meg.
Meg Borowski, she was the
Hashtag, or do we tag her on it?
Hashtags a thing still?
Yeah, something like that.
Meg.
Meg
Hashtag Meg.
Borowski. She's the best.
She's
But
the
that's
Meg,
best, man.
You were Jake from State Farm then.
yeah, I was working at State Farm.
He
I
come
just
in with
got-
his cute red polo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she convinced me to come in, and it was honestly the greatest thing. It was the greatest thing ever. Truly,
His first adjustments were that great.
they were. It was. He can move people a little bit better than most can.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just noticed there was parts of my body that I had never had adjusted before that he paid attention to, that I was like, huh. And there's quite a few things that he did that were just a little bit different level of detail than I had been through in the past. He put me through the ringer, and so basically I've followed him ever since, to him open his own clinic. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna toot Hunter's horn. I literally had a patient come in and complain that Hunter wouldn't sell him clubs because he didn't need them.
Well, I'd say, I've sent people to you too, and it's like Hunter's going to get you in the equipment that you need, not the equipment that he wants to sell you.
Right. He's the Rain
it's like,
Man of golf club fitting.
Hey, this is what you need, versus going to, any other shop. I'm sure there's other good ones. I've heard of other good ones too, but like the assessment is super cool and very unique. It's like he's going to get you in the clubs that you're going to use for decades.
100%. And that's the biggest thing too, is getting clubs that are conducive to people's swings and help them play better.
Well, every time someone buys a set of clubs from you, or a club in general, if the club doesn't perform the way, you have your name and title on all those things too. So it's like,
I'm way too small in this space. Like, you go into Golf Galaxy and they sell you a set of golf clubs. I don't like that. You might not even see the guy who sold you them that day. If you go back in there and you have complaints about your clubs, and who knows what they're gonna like. My goal is to do things the right thing the first time. I'm only gonna get a couple swings at this at bat with the person in front of me, and I'd like to get more at bats in the future, if that makes sense, by doing the right thing.
Yeah, if a club gets squirrely on somebody, what's your policy? Like,
come back in, let's figure out what's going on.
Yeah, the biggest thing, a goal for bringing you on is to just share people your passion with the game, and I think that's what translates. Like, when we send people there, everyone's like, holy shit, Hunter's a freak for golf. Just like he's dialed in and he's nuts about it, and you can it's coming out of your pores. I
always tell people, this is kind of cliche, but I help people play better golf. There's a lot of ways I can do so. I would say my average day consists of 50% lessons and 50% club fitting. With club fitting, a lot of the times, obviously they're looking at some of the newest models out there, but there's a lot of the times where I'm dialing in their existing equipment to work better for them. Changing the lies, changing the lofts, making shaft changes, that kind of stuff. So figuring out how I can improve that. But then the other half, I'd say, spend giving lessons and teaching the game of golf. So the biggest thing too, I think, where we both can help people is like, I think in anything you do in life, you need to have a good team around you in kind of every facet of your life. And having someone that helps you on the body. I know I can't help on every facet of things. I'm really good at the equipment and really good at the swing side of things, but we need to take care of the body and take care of other things, and that's where these guys come into play.
Yeah, and I think our ability to assess and figure out if your injuries are indicated for conservative care is a big deal that we like to anchor on. It's like, if people just have a general question like, hey, what's my hip doing? Like, is it a labral tear, or is it something we can actually handle? I think there's some, you go see an ortho and they're just ready to open you up or shoot you up.
My shoulder is a great example of that. They wanted to do open surgery, rotator cuff, labrum. I could get in there pretty good, and it's not like you told me no. You just gave me the options that were available to me, and like, hey, we can build this thing up and get it functioning at basically 90%.
Didn't take much.
No, I'm very glad, because
amazing.
I always was scared to go to the weight room and lift on it, because I thought it hurts if you put it in susceptible positions. But giving me like, hey, if you build up your delt strength, your functionality of your shoulder, you just gave me tools that I could do in the gym that help build up that strength and actually get that shoulder.
It's like 10 years ago.
That's where these guys come into play for me too. They've been huge for my personal, like I'm the client that they don't want, that calls them when
every time you go,
and you don't even bring banana bread.
Yeah, I didn't even eat that either. But these guys are crucial for me and my clients, just in terms of moving my body and being able to do so on a daily basis. The biggest thing too, being a business owner, you guys know it, we're on our feet like nonstop. It puts a toll on our body. So keeping me upright and able to do my job is huge.
Spinal Tap Podcast.
So I got kind of fed up with the way OEMs kind of did their standardized fitting process. And over 5 years of fitting in the club industry, decided to kind of take a leap of faith into my own process. I met a gentleman named Chad from Ventura, California. Guy was a genius onto some things that I thought were going to change the club fitting industry. And so I partnered with Forward Golf probably 18 months ago now. It's a way to help me fit and dial in my clients that come through the doors.
And what was like missing with the typical?
Couldn't get answers, and
You didn't have any raw data.
Yeah, and
like typically it's like, oh, how does it feel?
Yeah,
like when I've got club fittings, it's like, well, how does it feel?
Exactly. Yeah, and it feels important for sure, but
there's no objectivity to it.
Yeah, and like any good
like,
science experiment, if you don't like isolate variables that you're testing, it's really hard to figure out what's influencing you. So 8 variables of the golf club we deemed super important. So we blindly test sole design, most important variable that no one else does.
Number 1.
Total weight, lie angle, shaft flex, shaft profile, the length of the golf club, the grip size of the golf club, and also the swing weight of the golf club, or how it's balanced. So we blindly test all 8 of those variables in isolation of each other. Different types. So when we test lie angle, we test upright, we test standard, we test flat. The person in front of me does not know what they're hitting or testing. They just gonna go swing the club.
That's what you did with me, right?
Yeah, see what works best for you. And it's fun.
And is it just like a standard like 7 iron?
Exactly, 34-degree 7 iron. We designed this head.
Oh, they each have 4 or 3. 4 variables, right? Wait, no. 4 or 3. Wait, what was that first number? 4 variables, right? Or 3. 7 iron.
3 variations of every variable. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
3 variations of every variable.
Oh, they each have 4 variables.
3 variations of every variable.
Exactly.
72 swings is what we take in our process. We got a low bounce golf club, a mid bounce golf club, and a high bounce golf club. At the end of the day, not to get all too nerdy into this whole thing, but
I think you should.
I had the blessing of working on the TaylorMade tour truck for a little while. If you guys watch golf on TV, everybody swings it differently. And I was like, they're all incredible at their craft, so there's got to be some commonality. They all are really good at striking the golf ball first, and they're all really good at matching their club face to their club path. And those are the 2 most crucial things in the game of golf when it comes to being a good golfer, in my opinion. And so what this process does is it allows us to go through that and test each variable and say, what gives this person in front of me the best chance to match face to path and hit the golf ball first. It changed the way I fit and did things in my craft. Because for example, if I had a guy like Dr. Mitch come in, I'm grabbing pieces of rebar off the shelf, trying to get him into a golf club and saying good luck.
We didn't find that with me.
That's a stiff shaft.
Yep. I'd put you in the boardiest, stiffest thing I could find.
And I wasn't hitting
Because he's so strong.
Yeah, just being big, strong guy. He's got a lot of speed. But it's kind of cool when you go through this. Like we figured out something a little bit lighter. It was easier for him to swing.
With your club fitting stuff and just the data points, you said the 2 most important things for good hitters are
face to path, ability to control that, and low point or ability to strike the golf ball first.
right. And so like the control part, like I wanted to ask you, like when fatigue sets into someone's swing, like how do you help people with that? And then how do we help people with that too? I think would be a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah, and I think that's where our partnership kind of originated.
Good question.
There's a lot of people that come in my door. Dr. Zach knows this very well too, from having a little bit of a background. For people that don't know, I'm tooting his horn for a second. Dr. Zach is TPI certified.
It's a horn to be tooted.
Yeah, it's Titleist Performance Institute. It's a very in-depth program to learn essentially how the body moves and the most efficient way to move in the golf swing. And so there's a lot of people that come in that I want to put them in positions in the golf swing that just aren't attainable for their body. So that's the first conversation I always have is like, is there any injuries or things I need to know about? Because I'm not going to put a person in a position that they can't repeat or it's not going to make them successful. But a lot of those conversations turn into, okay, what are we going to do to help us achieve those positions and get into those things? And that's where you guys kind of come into play.
Yeah.
A thing that I admire a lot with you guys, I've noticed you've always are looking for the best things to bring in for your clients and how you can help the people in front of you.
It's his fault.
I feel like every time I come in here, there's something new and
Got something going on.
Yeah, it's one of the last 3 times I've been in. It's been between the laser therapy, the decompression table. I mean, there's stuff getting added weekly, and I think that's cool to see your guys' passion for helping people in front of you too.
When fatigue sets in, because obviously there's that like on tour play.
Yep.
Like they're playing lots of golf
72 holes in 4 days.
and they're warming up and it's just all the time. But like for your standard weekend warrior or, you know, someone who's going up to the cabin and getting a golf swing in, you like hole 9, 10, 11, 12, they're starting to get squirrely with just like their
100%.
mechanics. And they have these brand new golf clubs and they're super frustrated because they just got fitted.
Yep.
It's like your swing's breaking down at such a high rate. We should probably handle that
100%.
or talk about like energy management. And that's why I don't take practice swings.
Yeah. You're,
Like when I'm playing
Energy
around
conservation.
when I'm playing around a golf, like I used to hit a bucket of balls and then I would do, you know, I just,
It's a lot of swings.
and then I get to like hole 3, I'm like, I'm toast. And then my swing breaks down and I start letting go of the club. My hands get tired and then my low back goes. And so,
The other thing with that too is like it sounds silly, but the mental capacity of like how long do you have to be out there? And I tell I'm a high school golf coach over at Arnold. It's the biggest thing I struggle with my high school because it's just like getting them to understand the concept of we need to be mentally present for roughly 20 minutes of this 5 hours.
it's like, okay,
how much
all the busy stuff, all the stuff like in a golf round that you don't need to like use up energy, but for that 20 seconds that you're hitting the golf ball, like you need to be
Present.
there 100%.
And it's mentally and physically exhausting, to be honest. And that's where just swinging the club all the time is not going to help your ability and your endurance to do it. Like you got to take care of yourself and rest too.
Yeah.
And so the ability to move well.
You have to have the capacity to move well, and then you got to grow that capacity.
Exactly.
And you got to finesse it. Do you talk a lot about like course management? And obviously like as a coach, you do it a lot, but like with what Mitch is asking, as people get fatigued or older, right? They kind of like go hand in hand. One's within a day, one's within over the course of years, but still like course management, that conversation, does that change
100%.
with people to be like, hey, maybe don't swing 100% and try to get an extra 30 yards in your drive. Like take it 75%. You're going to be, whatever it is for that person.
100%. And getting equipment in their hands too that makes it easier for them to play golf throughout the longevity of the round.
Right, which is probably a bigger part of like what you do with Go Low is like, hey, let's get you the right equipment. I know you want to swing a driving iron right now, but maybe you should use a 7-wood.
100. I can't tell you how many older golfers I see coming with like the 2-iron.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I
because if you flush one of those, I mean, how sexy is that?
Yeah,
you flush a driving iron, it's like,
my first thought when I see a 50 plus guy come in with a 2-iron is I cannot wait to get that out of your bag. It's like you get 9 woods, 7 woods in their hand and show them what hitting the ball high in the air can do for their golf game, and what carrying the ball does instead of just rolling it up there and playing that style of golf.
That's the cool thing about what you do too is like, because everybody's watching golf, everybody's seeing the clubs that are in professionals' bags, everybody's seeing, on Instagram, seeing this, and they're like, I want that. It's cool. But that's where you can kind of place them like, no, this is your game. These are the tools that you need.
100%.
You can get the other stuff, but you don't need that.
100%. And that's where too, like having those transparent conversations with people about their utilization of that said golf club. Like, what's this going to be in your bag for? And how can I help you achieve like what we're trying to achieve? And there's a lot of times guys leave with clubs that are the exact same off, but one flies a lot higher and one flies a lot more penetrating and they go different distances. But it's that. The course management side of things is a lot bigger than you think because especially on the lesson side of things, a lot of my clients will come in frustrated with their score. And I'm like, well, tell me a little bit more about that score.
I don't know.
But especially for the ones, it's incredible with my high school kids how many times they emotionally frustrated after a round. Like, I played so bad today, coach. I'm a terrible putter. Like, really, I watched you hit like 10 wedges to like 45 feet.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't make a 45 footer either.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably going to 3-putt a couple
your putting
of those.
isn't the issue.
Your putting is not the issue.
Right.
Like, our approaches are, but it's hard to separate our emotions and logic. And that's kind of where I feel like I can help with the clients is we definitely have those course management conversations, how to tackle golf courses, but how to optimize equipment to play them too.
Yeah, but you do really good at being able to identify that with people just on what they're swinging, how they're swinging. I forgot what it was with me, but you're like, oh, what was it? I forgot what it was, but you're like, oh, do you end up like having being a certain distance or something like after your second shot? I'm like, yeah, all the time.
That's incredible because I'm not a golfer and like watching your subtleties, like your ability to pick up all the subtleties. It was like, I had no idea what you're talking about, but you could tell you knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
You could from a bird's eye view, you could see the art of what you were doing. It was like, I was watching all that footage that we took. I'm like, holy Christ.
It's awesome.
You see something
assessments
enough
and stuff.
times, you know.
100%. And that's where I kind of wear a lot of hats in the golf industry, but one of my hats that I wear is I have a caddy as well. The challenge of like, you meet this person on the first tee box, and we only have 18 holes together, and we got to figure out their patterns quick and how to optimize them on the golf course that we're playing that day.
What are some of the things you first key in on?
The thing I always look for, to be honest with you, a person's grip and setup will tell me immediately what way they're going to shape the golf ball, if they're going to be a drawer or a fader of the golf ball or slicer. And so optimizing that for them right away, and like learning how to set them up on proper target lines right away. And just kind of figuring out the best way to approach and attack pin locations, knowing that they'd like to hit the shot from left to right or right to left.
Sure. Okay.
I think it's such a fun challenge, especially with higher handicappers, when you can show them and you take them around the golf course and it's like, okay, you're a 22 handicap and you just shot 86 today and it was just off of making good. Like, did you strike the ball all day? And they're like, not really. Like, we just made good decisions and got around the golf course efficiently. But showing people that they can do that is a lot of fun.
Spinal Tap Podcast.
That's cool.
What do you notice in your caddying life? Like if someone has a physical ailment, what's like the common few things that you see, like pulling people back from their game?
It's really, first off, the golf is such a finicky game where if something's off just the littlest bit, it's really hard to play good golf. But the thing I've noticed that's changed, I guess this has changed the most in golf. If you guys have paid attention to golf over the last 20 years, the golf scores are getting significantly lower. And I don't think, this is going to sound really weird, I don't think the level of golf being played is better.
AI?
I think the level of athlete playing golf is better.
You think it's access to knowledge and like,
Yeah, and if you go
education as
back,
well?
Tiger Woods it was so weird that Tiger Woods was in the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And he would lift before arms. Everyone's like, what are you doing? You're going to get sore and it's going to mess with your swing. And now you will not find a single tour player that doesn't lift or is in the gym 4 to 5 days a week. They have a full team there with them to get their bodies right. And it takes a lot to be at peak performance and maintain that. I think they realize that and value that too.
Well, back to your point, are you talking about like golf hasn't gotten better, just there's better athletes?
Yeah, I don't think the art of golf,
Yeah.
like the ability to hit golf shots,
There's
has
just
gotten any better.
Better athletes that chose to play golf.
And we can quantify everything now.
Yeah.
Information, I can take my info from my simulator, upload a file, CSV file into that app so it knows my averages for every club, and we'll literally basically map out how to optimally play that golf course that day based on wind and everything. It's crazy. Crazy.
Okay, I'll ask the question again. Common injuries you see in golfers.
Back is a huge one. Golfer's elbow and back. Elbows, wrist stuff, and back stuff.
any specific parts of the back?
Lower.
Yeah.
You guys would probably have a better idea of that than I would, but I know the ability to rotate, that your rotational stuff is so spine related, as you guys know.
Yeah.
And hip
Yeah, it was just, you took it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
If your hip's not moving, your
or
low
thoracic
back's.
spine.
Yeah.
Which most people, weekend warriors, have restriction in. And if you're not getting that range of motion, that's when you run into issues like early extension in the golf swing, which is just going to lead to more low back issues, right? So like whenever we get golfers in here, I always tell them about that. Hey, your thoracic spine isn't moving at all. How the heck are you supposed to rotate?
That's not good for you.
You're going to rotate. Your body's going to find a way to rotate, but it's not the right way.
Yep.
And if you do that 80 times,
That's like Tiger's
80 times
experience.
plus.
Yeah. And there's things.
well, look at Will Zalatoris or whatever. Like him, I mean, his golf swing, he used to be, the hyperextended posture, and that tore up his back. And you look at him in the last year, like he's changed, but he's changed his posture
Completely.
right? So that's like a very visual, mechanical, like he's hyperextended and he's trying to rotate and all these mechanical issues. He's a more public display of that, but
The biggest thing and that's where I think you guys help me too in this facet of like when the person's in front of me, how can I put them in a position to be successful on the golf course for a long time, and that's going to help them play golf for a long time. And a lot of what we're seeing with modern golf instruction is obviously ideal, but it requires an immense amount of movement, and if you don't have the ability to support that movement, that's a problem. And so you see a lot of these guys trying to get wide open hips at impact and cover the golf ball and do all these things, but it's really hard to do that if we can't move that way.
Yeah,
Managing torque in the lumbar spine is pretty difficult, especially when you're sitting on your duff all day. Then you get up and try to play. So that's what we're trying to figure out, get connected with our mutual populations and keep people on the golf course.
100%.
And it's not complicated. It's just doing the right thing at the right time.
We're also not playing for millions of dollars either.
Yeah, exactly. But to give you an example though,
you spend a lot of money on the golf course, and there's people that are like, I play golf, and like my dad, for example, he golf weekends, and he throws his back, and I was like, I just spent all this money, and now it's just fucking wasted because I'm totally shot for the rest of the season. So,
wild story that not a lot of people know. I heard this from a guy who used to work on TaylorMade's tour van. Arnold Palmer, after every round of golf, would go in and put his hand on a piece of paper and he'd draw an outline around it. The day right after his round of golf, and he'd come in the next morning, he'd put his hand down in that same outline on the truck, and if it was smaller, he'd take wraps off his golf club, his grips, or if it was bigger, he'd add wraps onto his grips. They would literally be handing him his clubs as he was walking to the first tee because they were trying to rip off the grips, and that's a guy that was very in tune with his body, and like he knew what he needed that day. And that's where I like with a lot of weekend warriors, I have a lot of guys that are like, where should my ball be at with every single club every single time? I'm like, do you move the same every weekend when you play golf like twice a month? And they're like, no. Like, so why should we have the ball in the same spot every time? They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, if you're rotating really well that day, we can probably cheat it back a little bit in our stance. But if we're not, let's move it forward and make it easier on ourselves. Get through that ball. But
because you try to systematize, systematize it. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and there's so many aspects of the golf swing as you know that it's like, all right, if I can remember all these aspects of the golf swing, I'm gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
But you're saying like have a little bit of flexibility.
100%.
How you doing that day?
100%. And I think that's where like the decompression table that you guys just brought in, when we relate it back to just injuries with golf, I think that taking a lot of pressure off the spine and decompressing that a little bit is helpful, because they're just in people's golf swing, like especially guys that are out to in, for example, which is probably 60 to 70% of the clients that come in, they struggle with an out to in path and they're slicing it. They put a lot of pressure on that low right side of their back at impact position.
Because you see them like
exactly
like that.
They're diving back and they're their spine pops up out of its angle. And so it's cool with these cameras and stuff now. My software in there now gives quantifiable, like measured numbers to people's spine angle and like how open and their hips are, where they're at with rotation.
Is it usually like a shift problem that you see with them?
Sometimes it's a shift problem. Sometimes it's just like a mechanics flaw of like when the club gets way out here, they kind of, everything we do is kind of in the golf swing is a response to something else, like a Band-Aid. We've developed bad habits over time. If we have a weak grip, we know we need to come over the top to have a chance to hit it straight. So that's what I love. What I do, and same thing with you guys. It's like figuring out the root cause of why this person's struggling.
All different too. Everything that comes in is all different.
Exactly.
There's patterns, and having that pattern recognition is kind of what we're talking about too. But gunk.
You had a question in the corner?
I have a question for the for the group. Are there a couple of things that you always recommend to people to do during the day to keep their backs moving and like to keep the swing alive? And then like you guys, same question, home exercises or just tips and stuff for people?
To be honest with you, that's a good question. I rely on these guys' expertise on that front in terms of the continuous movement side of things. I have requests in terms of like swing stuff I want them working on. Like even sometimes it's, hey, grab a sticker, bring a club into your office and do a couple of these throughout the day. But I rely on these guys when it comes to... I'd kind
of categorize it into two different groups. I'd say before all the simulators that are out there, especially in Minnesota, people would take 5 to 6 months off every year. That still happens, but there's more accessibility to simulators that people can like keep consistent with their golf swing. So my point being, and like everything I think we talked about this on a podcast, even the deconditioning that happens once they stop moving their body is an issue. And then they get back into golf and then they're relying on their body to be able to move the same pattern that 6 months ago. So to answer your question, like have a workout routine, doesn't really matter what it is, move your body throughout the winter. The other group is now that there is more simulators, I feel like our mutual,
Yeah.
your guy that's always golfing, he has repetitive injuries. All of his injuries are just repetitive.
100%.
He's golfing
Every
almost every single day, right?
Literally won't.
So there's like a balance of, okay, you have these deconditioned issues of people not doing stuff, and then you have these repetitive issues. Like that's what golfer's elbow is, right? It's repetitive. You keep impacting it. So those issues tend to have to see us more versus the first group, the decondition. It's like, hey, just move your body, do some exercises, get off your butt, stand when you can, like don't be sitting all day. But it'll probably keep changing, right? As people start to have simulators in their houses, right? It's probably a good thing overall as long as you don't overdo it, right?
As far as like things to do, like anti-rotation stuff. Because like you have like the guy who golfs a lot, he'd probably do really well with like some core stability.
Less movement.
Because people are like, oh, I should stretch and warm up. I'm like, probably not. Like you're going to get that in the first couple. I mean, you're going to get warmed up swinging on the course, but I like when golfers ask me, oh, what can I do before I'm around? I'm like, literally take your bag and hug it and walk with it, because you're going to do like a kettlebell, like a farmer's, or not a farmer's carry, but a goblet carry.
That's how you carry your bag anyways.
Yeah. Hey, big dumb. I don't have any straps on my bag. Or like, just marching in place with that bag too, to create that core contraction, just to get like
stability.
Hey, core, be stable, not because that was like a Tiger issue, was that 100%. He was almost on that hypermobility
for sure, but
his low back and his core just had a torque management issue. So if you can like train your brakes a little bit, I would say that's because people always see, like, you see the old guys just freaking just rotating and on the ground doing rotations, and it feels good, it mobilizes you. But if you can work up a sweat in a stable manner, that's
a good point.
Golfing quip. All right. Well, is that a wrap on the tap?
Thanks for listening to this episode of Spinal Tap, Season 2, Episode 7.
It's a long season.
Nice job. Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah, it's been years.
Make sure you smash that like button.
Subscribe, follow.
Push the alert so that you know what's going on. I don't know.
That notification bell.
Notification.
The next time they do a podcast 3 months from now.
No, we got another one lined
weeks.
up.
There we go.
We're shifting back into the podcast space
we're trying
hard.
Let's go.